है ना, अब 1 मिनट तो है, चलो 29 है ना। वहां पे आ रहा है ना फीड प्रसाद, वहां पे आ रहा है। एक सेकंड, एक सेकंड। बस यूट्यूब खोल लें। Okay then. Hello, hello, hello guys. Hello everyone. Hello Rahul, Lavanya, Tawfiq, Guddu, Biren. Good evening guys. Good evening everyone. How are you all? Hi Guddu. Hi Anshika. Hi Shaktiram. Durga, Varad. Good evening guys. Good evening everyone. Hello Utpal. How are you buddy? Hi Tycoon. Good evening guys. Good evening. Am I audible? Am I visible guys? Can you please confirm that once? Am I audible? Am I visible? And let me just change my screen. I think the wrong screen has been shared. Just give me a second. Okay, wait. Just give me a second. Yeah. Hopefully it's fine now. Okay. Okay. Good evening then. Now I think it's completely fine. Okay, wait. Again, it's gone or? Okay. Just give me a second. Is my coding screen visible now? I think it's a little delayed. Let's see. Let's confirm that once. Yep, I think now it's fine. Okay then. Chalo. Now it's fine. All good. And we are all settled up to start with this session. So good evening guys. Good evening Sarvan, Atish, Aditya, Lavanya, Ganesh. Good evening everyone. Good evening Ovasri. Good evening. How are you all? Tell me that first. How are you all guys? Till then let me just increase the font size here quickly. And let me close the terminal. Okay, all settled up with all the things that we created yesterday. Okay, so guys, before we start, have you guys started practicing all the things that we are learning here? Can you please tell me that? Have you guys started practicing? Is the basic app for all of you working? Have you guys installed the React and have you guys started creating some basic components? You know, or I think last time I gave you assignment, right? Did you guys complete the assignment of at least creating this much? Guys, did you start the assignment? Did you guys create the assignment of at least doing this much? Creating a simple header and a product component and then loading that component 3 times? Where to submit the assignment? The assignment submission link will be given to you in the chat in a short time. Don't worry about that. And it will also be available in the description of the video. So don't worry about that. Done? Okay, I can see a lot of yeses. Amazing, guys. Amazing. Okay, for Aditya, Tycoon. Okay, that's great. Because guys, we need continuous practice. Every day, whatever I do, I'll give you a short assignment based on that. And you guys have to complete it. If you completely, if you just keep doing it with me, there will be no confusion at all in the other sessions. Because now we have 3 days left. One of the day, that is the last day, will be for the project. Today, we're going to be learning about state, one of the very, very important things in React. And then we'll talk about, how to read input field values. Today, I'll also show you how to loop through data. Okay, because yesterday we did a lot of repeated stuff. So we'll also learn how to display data using loop. And then if we get time, we'll talk about few more things. And then guys, tomorrow's complete day will be how to call internet, how to call APIs and take data from there, and how to display it in our web page. So these things will make us ready to create our final project on the 5th day. Okay, and come on guys, everyone attending, can we have likes? Come on, let's see. Come on, let's make 100 likes everyone. Come on, let's go. Almost 140 people are watching. So come on guys, Let's reach 100 likes. Okay. So guys, let's go. Let's start. So far we have understood what exactly is a component. We have also understood, what exactly is a prop, how to pass a prop. We have seen how to create components separately, how to inject one component into other component, and then finally load it on app.js, right? And yesterday we also saw how to handle a simple event, right? Do we will learn API integration? Yes, Rati Fitness will be also learning API integration. That is completely tomorrow's topic. Tomorrow we'll be just talking about API integration. How to properly call APIs, how to get its data, how to display it, right? How to send a post request. We'll see some of the endpoints. We'll call some of the endpoints and we'll see how to actually integrate API in your React application. Okay. So guys, I hope that we are clear with everything that we have learned so far. I also showed you, how to call functions which actually have parameter in it. So how to create two functions here. We also saw how to read the event object. Today we're going to be needing it. Okay. So then let's go. Let's start. Okay. Let's go and let's start, guys. Okay. Cool. So now guys, today, before we start with anything, let me quickly open a notepad here. Okay. So let's go and open an online notepad here quickly. Okay. And the most important topic for today, or actually one of the most important topics in React that we're going to be learning today, is something called as state. Okay. No audio. Are you sure? Everyone, can you guys hear me clearly? I think everyone can hear me clearly, right? Virender, can you please check the settings once? Is it okay if I have changed the CSS? Yes, Lavanya, it's okay. Design can be your complete logic. Whatever you feel like. Colors, designs can be your complete logic. We don't have to worry about any kind of design or structuring issue. Okay. The main React core should be there. Other than that, you can choose any color, any design, any font. It's up to you. Don't worry about that. Okay. So guys, today we are starting with a topic of state. One of the most audio is not audible, is not clear. Audible, right, guys? Hopefully. Sure. Okay. I think it is audible, right, for most of the people. Okay, that's great. That's great. Okay, so guys, let's start then. So as I was saying, today we are going to be starting with one of the most important topics in React, something which makes React what React is. That is something called as state. Okay. So first of all, guys, as we always do, we'll start off with a very basic definition to understand the idea, to understand the theory, and then we'll actually try to understand practically what exactly state is and how important it is in React. Is that clear, guys? So remember, guys, in React, if I have to just give you a theory idea, okay, so guys, I'm going to be showing you everything about theory and about practical so that you understand it from all sides. So theoretically, in React, every component has a state. Each and every component that you create can have a state. Now, I'm not saying has a state. Actually, you can say can have a state. We can decide that. It is not automatically going to have state. We can decide it. So every component in React can have a state. Now, what exactly is the state? Theoretically, state is nothing but you can say data of a component. That's it. Data of a component which described. That's all. Data of a component. So let's say, for example, in here, I have a component, right? So just to give you an idea, let's say, I'm going to create a component today or in the app component only. So let me remove all this stuff, guys, for some time. Let's remove all this stuff so that, we'll be having a completely clear app. See, a very basic app. Okay. And let's just put some dummy stuff so that, at least we can see some content. So guys, for now, guys, I'm doing it in app component. This can be for any component, any small, big component. It's completely fine. Okay. So, just a component. Okay. Simple. Okay. Simple idea. Just a component. Okay. Simple. Now, as I said, guys, according to the theory idea, what was it? Every component in React can have a state. First line, state is nothing but data of a component. Whatever data a component is holding, that is something we can consider as state. But don't worry, it is much more than that. We'll talk about that. So now if I say data of a component, what do I actually mean about that? So guys, in React, let's say this is your component, right? This is your app component. And let's say in this component, I create a simple variable. Let's say something like let name. Okay. And guys, let name equals, let's say something like Saurabh. Okay. Simple idea. let name equals Saurabh. This is one data of my component. I can say this is my data of the component. Simple. And to use it, we know we can simply go ahead and, display it. And as I said, guys, how do you display variables in React? Simply we go ahead, use curly braces. So any variable that you want to use, curly braces, and inside that, just put that variable, and that variable's output will be produced. Okay, here you can see we have got Saurabh. Simple idea, very simple. So according to the definition, I said every component can have a state, and state is nothing but data of a component. So can I consider this as a state? No, not at all. Okay, why? I'll tell you. See, state is something which can change, and according to state change, the component should also change. Now let me show you what happens if it is a normal variable. Okay, according to logic, guys, state is something if a state changes, the component should change. Because if it's a state, guys, state means something that you have. Now if that changes, your status should also change. That's why we call that thing a state according to real definition, right? We can call something a state if it impacts you. Otherwise it's not a state, it's a fixed data. So now we have to check, if I change this data, will my component react to it? If it doesn't react, that means this variable cannot be considered as part of the state. So base idea was, state is nothing but data of a component. But can I consider any normal variable as state? Let's check that. Okay, so let's create a function here, guys. Let's create a function. Let's say change data, something like that. Okay, and inside this function, I'm simply going to change the value of name. So name, it was Saurabh. Let's say I change it to Thor, something like that. So guys, now I have a function. Okay, guys, listen to me very carefully. Okay, if you understand this, you will never forget state from now on. Okay, so now I have a function. Okay, so initially I had name, which was having a value Saurabh. I displayed it. You can see it is Saurabh here. Now I have a function. If I call that function, I'm changing the value of name to Thor. Simple. Now let's call this function. Let's call it on a button. Okay, so let me create a button. Okay, simple. And let me pass click. And see, guys, we have a button now. Now when I click on this button, I want to call this function. It's very simple. Yesterday we learned how to do that. So we can simply do on click, and we can call that function change. Okay, change data. Okay, simple calling. And guys, also to confirm if it is changing, let's internally print it in the console. Console.log name. Okay, guys. So see, guys, basic idea is what? We have a variable name, which is initially Saurabh. We have displayed it, all good. And when I click on this button, I call a function change data, which is simply doing nothing but changing the value of name from Saurabh to Thor. And I'm also printing it to confirm if it is changing or not. Okay, simple idea. Now, let's open our console window so that we can see what's happening. Okay, and now if I click on this button, I'm expecting that Saurabh will be changed to Thor, and I'm also expecting that this output should change. Let's see. Click. You can see the actual value of name has changed. So internally now name is Thor. That's why we got printed Thor. But on the UI, nothing is changing. That means, guys, even if that variable is changing, my component is not reacting to it. That means I can't consider a normal data or a normal variable as my state. Is that clear, guys? So we can't consider a normal variable as a state. So if you really want that if your data changes, you also want your component to change the UI or to re-render the UI or to, change the output. For that case, guys, you have to create a state variable. You have to create a state variable. So normal variables, so even though as I mentioned in definition that state is nothing but data of component, but you cannot consider normal variables as your state. In React, you cannot consider normal variables as your state. No, you have to create it with a specific syntax so that React understands that, okay, this I'm gonna consider as a state variable and this is going to be a normal variable. Is that clear, guys? So at the end, it's data only, but the way of creation will be different. You cannot consider your normal variables as a state variable. So guys, definition wise, state is nothing but data of a component, but make sure that it works like state so that if it changes, the component should react to it. You have to create it with a different, proper syntax. This is just a normal variable. This will never create a state variable. Okay. Is that clear, guys? So now let's see how to create a state variable. But before doing that, guys, I would like to introduce you to a very easy thing, which is something called as hook in React. Now, guys, again, first of all, if you guys have ever heard of it, don't get confused. It's a very, very simple logic. Don't worry, Vandana. You will see it in some time. Guys, please follow the story. Don't worry. As I told you, I'm going to tell you everything. Follow the complete story. Don't go on definitions. Don't think about whatever you have learned previously, or don't get confused with all that stuff. Okay? Just focus and let's follow the story. You'll understand everything. So, guys, before we move on to understanding actually how to create a state variable, let's talk about something called as hook. So, what exactly is a hook in React? In a very simple term, functions, inbuilt functions, or you can also create your own. So, functions which let you use React features are called as hooks. So, guys, hook is a very fancy word. Hook, so don't get confused. Hook is nothing. Hook is simply some functions which are available in React which let you use the React features. So, guys, internally, React library gives you a lot of features internally. Okay, so hook are nothing but some inbuilt functions provided by React which let you use the React features or which let you connect to the React features. That's why they are called as hook. Normally, guys, why do we use hook? To connect two things, right? We normally use a hook to connect two things, right? So that is why they are called as hooks, because they let you connect to the React features. But guys, at the end, they are just functions. That's where people get confused. They think that hook is something, something like a new stuff or, some new programming construct. No, it is not a programming construct. It is just a fancy word for functions which let you connect to React features. That's all. That's why they are called as hooks. But at the end, they are simply functionalities, nothing more than that. Okay. So hooks are nothing but functionalities which let you use or let you connect to React features. Okay. And guys, to create a proper state variable, you have to use an inbuilt hook which is available in React, which lets you connect to the React state feature. And the name of that hook is useState. So guys, never get confused with hooks. Okay. Hooks are nothing but functionalities which let you connect to the React features. That's all. Okay. And they have a very specific naming convention. They will be always named like this: use and the name of that particular feature. So use state. In future, you will see use effect, use layout, use ref. So whatever feature you're using, use feature. But at the end, it's just a function, guys. So use state. That means what I'm trying to use state feature of React. So this function use state, it's a function which will let you connect to the state feature of React. And at the end, it will let you create a state variable. So now then, guys, let's see how to use this useState functionality or useState hook to create a proper state variable. Okay. So let's go, guys. Everyone, let's go. So now, guys, see, I created a simple variable called as name. But as I said, this is just a normal variable. We can't consider it as a state variable, right? Because if it's changing, my UI is not doing anything. It is changing internally, but UI is not changing. There is no output update in UI. So I can't consider it as a state variable, because according to logic, if state changes, UI should change. That's what state means, right? Status should update. So now let's see how to create a proper state variable. So guys, for that, the first thing is, again, guys, as it's an inbuilt function, you have to import it. Okay. And it comes from React. So import useState. So to create a state variable, you always have to import useState function, which is coming from React library. So see, guys, we are simply using a useState function which is provided by React library. It's an inbuilt function which lets you connect to React's state feature. That's all. And now, instead of creating a normal variable, now guys, I'm not saying that you cannot create a normal variable in React. You can always create a normal variable in React, but it will not work like a state variable. So to create name as a state variable, you will do this. You'll create an array notation. Inside that, you will pass two things always: name, whatever name you want your variable to be. So let's say name, then comma, pass a function name, which should always be like this: set name. Okay, so name, set name. If it is age, set age. If it is country, set country. If it is DOB, set DOB. Put it like this. This is the naming convention that React follows for state variables. Okay, and then equals to, use that hook now, use state. And inside this use state, pass any initial value that you want. So let's say I'm going to pass Saurabh. So guys, think of it like this. this variable and this variable are exactly same. The difference is this is a normal variable which is having value of Saurabh, and this is a state variable which is having value of Saurabh. But to tell React that this name is going to be a state variable, you have to use the useState hook. That's it. And guys, don't forget to pass this function. Now, why we are passing this function? React wants you to use this function only if you ever want to change value of name. That means now you cannot change the value of name using this logic. You should never change value of state variables using equal to logic. Never. You should always use the function that you have passed to change the value of this variable. Always. So that's what React is suggesting. So that React can internally understand. It's for React's understanding. React has made this idea so that internally it can understand what's a state and how it's going to be updated and how to work with it. Okay, simple idea. Very simple idea. So now, first of all, guys, you can use it like a normal variable. See, I'm using it like a normal variable only. Name. If you check it now, see that the output is still same. You still have Saurabh here. It's okay. But now here's the main difference. Now when I click on the button, I want to change the value of name. And as I said, you should never change value of state variables using your normal equal to logic. Never. You should always use this function which you have passed. So let's go set name and then pass the new value that you want. So let's say I'm passing as Thor. It is exactly equal to this logic. Think of it like you're doing something like this, but with React's architecture. You're doing something like this only, but using React's architecture. That's all. So set name Thor. That's it, guys. That's all. And now let's see. So guys, think of it like this. You have a variable called as name, whose value is Saurabh initially. And then you have displayed it. So you can see it here, Saurabh, correct? And when you click on this button, you're calling the function called as change data, which is actually changing the value of name to Thor. And you will only use this function if you ever want to change the value of name, nothing else. Okay? So guys, it's like a normal variable only, but now React understands, oh, it's a state variable. And because it's a state variable, now see what happens. Now if I click on that button, the value of name will change, and also it updates on the UI. So React understands if it's a state variable and if it changes, the React re-renders the component. That means refreshes or reloads the component. And whatever is the update, it will update it on the UI. So now I can see live update happening on the UI. This is the benefit of state variable. So guys, that's the difference between a state variable and a normal variable. A normal variable will do nothing. But a state variable, if it changes, the component re-renders. That's what happens, guys. Whenever a value of state variable changes, the component re-renders. That will always happen. The component re-renders. Remember this, guys, never forget this. Re-render means you can think of it like refresh or reload. Okay, but your page will not refresh, guys. Don't worry. Your page will never refresh. Only that particular component re-renders. Is that clear, everyone? Guys, understood? Okay, I hope we are cleared, everyone. Guys, so that's the difference between normal variable and state variable. But guys, if you look at it properly, you know that normal variable was also having data. State variable is also having data. That means both of them are data. But it's just React's way of telling you that if you want to create a state variable, use this logic so that I can understand that it's a state variable and I can do the internal logic of re-rendering. Because you are not re-rendering. You are simply changing the value. But it's re-rendering the component. Is that clear, guys? Yes, so guys, when to use a state variable? Whenever you feel that data is going to be changing and based on the change of data, you want to update the UI on the spot dynamically. In that case, always go for state variable. For internal calculation, you can always go for normal variables. If you want to do some internal calculation, internal value holding, you can go for normal variable. Okay. But guys, one more thing. Remember that normal variable, so if the component re-renders, normal variable will go back to initial value. So it's my suggestion that avoid using normal variables as much as you can. Because whenever the component re-renders, that normal variable which is inside that component, it will reset to normal. It will reset to the initial value. So avoid using normal variables. Okay, as much as you can. Only use it if you are pretty sure about what you're going to be doing with that. Other than that, please avoid using normal variables. Because mostly you're going to be storing data that you want to change or that you want to update. Okay, if it is fixed, then you can go for normal variable. If it is never going to be changing, if it is going to be fixed, then use normal variables. Other than that, if the value is going to be changing, You're using it for calculation and it's going to be changing. Avoid using normal variables. Go for state variables in that case. Okay. So guys, I hope we are cleared. Okay. So this is the logic. Very simple logic. And now you can create n number of variables. Name, age, city. And guys, again, you can store whatever you want. Literally whatever you want. Okay. String, number, object, array. Store whatever you want here. And if you want to keep it empty, just keep it like this. It is also fine. If you want to pass a null, you can pass a null. It's just like initially whatever you want to pass. Like if you want to pass null, you will do this, right? Null. Just like that, you can pass null here. This is just simply the initial value of this variable. That's all. That's all, guys. Simple idea. Okay. So guys, I really hope that this logic is cleared now. Basic state logic. Okay. How we use dynamic variable into useState variable. Dynamic variable. Can we store images? Yes, you can store images. Image is URL, right? Like how can you store a direct image? If you want to store HTML, it will be stored as a string, right? Shashank, so yeah, images can be stored in form of strings, in form of encoded data, something like that. Okay. So guys, I really hope it's cleared, everyone. Yes, Aditya, you can also do that, buddy. That's also fine. Okay. Guys, I hope we are cleared. What if I have to return to first name? What if I have to return? Can just refresh the page, because normally if you change a variable and if it changes your UI, you have to refresh your page, right? Or you again create one more functionality and change it there, right? Anshika. So if you want to return to your normal initial value, that means you have to refresh your page because variable's value has been changed now, correct? Is it cleared? So guys, everyone, are we cleared with this base idea? Have you guys understood what exactly state is? And don't worry guys, right now I'm storing a simple string. In future, I'll be also storing array of objects. We'll go and understand everything slowly. Okay. So guys, I hope it's cleared, everyone. Yes, don't worry. I'll also show you how to read input field values. But is the state logic cleared? So now guys, can we stand on this definition? Because see, sometimes, we have to give a proper definition. So now I hope we can stand on this definition. Every component can have a state. Now see guys, again, now let's understand this. When I say can have a state, that means it's up to you. If you create state, it will have state. If you don't create state, it won't have state. Simple idea. Okay. So every component can have a state, up to you if you create it or not. Okay. State means nothing but data of a component. But the kind of data that if it changes, the component will always re-render. Okay. This is the term. So every component can have a state. State is nothing but data of a component and the kind of data that if it changes, the component will always re-render. And to create it, we use a hook, which is called as useState. So now guys, by reading this whole para, you can understand what exactly state is. This is what we have understood throughout the whole idea of what exactly is state. Okay, simple logic. And now guys, we can use it for many things. For reading input fields and for, storing dynamic data, for storing data coming from API. We can always go for state variables. I think for 90% of your data, you are always going to be using state variables because you know that in React, you're using React to create front-end applications. So that any data you're going to be storing in variables, it's going to be for some kind of display, right? So if it changes, you want to change the UI. So most number of times, you will be storing data in state variables. At least 90 to 95% of the times, you'll be storing data in state variable only. Okay. Okay guys, I hope it is cleared, everyone. Now let's create some more variables. Why not? And see, right now I created the state variable in app component. You can create it in any component. And guys, remember, it will only re-render that component. Changes only the product component re-renders, not everything else. Only the product component re-renders. Is that cleared, guys? Okay, please understand that logic. Okay, so when I say the component re-renders, so in whatever component you have the state variable, and if that state changes, only that particular component renders, not everything else in the web page. Only that component renders. Remember that. Don't forget that. Okay, it might be asked in interviews. Okay, cool. Okay, that's great, guys. Now then, let's move ahead and let's create few more state variables, some inside the component, so that we can understand what's going on. Okay, so let me get back to normal. Okay, let me remove this whole thing. Okay, now that you have understood how to create it, Let me just remove it. Okay, don't worry. I'm again going to create it inside a component. Okay, inside a single component. Don't worry. So let me remove it and let's get back this header and button and all that stuff, products and everything. Do something. Okay, I don't have the do something function anymore, right? So let me just comment out this button. Okay, so here we go, guys. Okay, simple idea, guys. We have the simple web page now. And now let's create a state component and let's see what's going on now. Okay, so let's go. Guys, ready everyone? Let's create a state variable here. Let something like, so guys, now I'm creating a state variable inside. Is it fine now? Is it fine now, everyone? Is it fine? All good now? Can you guys see me now? Now it's working? Okay, I think it's working now. I don't know, something happened. I don't know. Okay. Working? Okay, that's great. I don't know, maybe something happened. Please refresh, guys. Please refresh. I think it's some YouTube issue, maybe. Some YouTube issue. So yeah, it happens. No issues. Now it's good. Okay, don't worry. If you have missed something, I'll again start from scratch. Don't worry at all. I'll start completely from scratch. Okay. Repeat. Yes, I'll repeat. First of all, let me just confirm if everyone is here. Okay, nice. All good? Okay. So now, guys, I was showing you that. Okay, all good, everyone, all good. Can we start now? All good? Yes, I'll start again. I hope the first state variable was cleared, right, everyone? The first state variable was cleared, right, guys? Hopefully the first state variable was clear to everyone. Guys, please confirm that. Okay, nice. So now I was showing you that you can also create state variables in any component you want. Okay, you can create state variables in any component you want. So initially I showed you by creating a state variable here in app component. Okay, so now I was showing you that you can create state variable anywhere you want. So now let me remove this again. Okay, don't worry, guys, I'll start from scratch. Okay, forget about it. So I was showing you that now I'm inside the product component. Okay, I'm inside the product component. That means, guys, inside a single product component, not in product list, guys. I'm inside a single product component. And I was showing you that we can also create a state variable in any component, even in the smallest of components. It's up to us. So let's create a state variable here. Is that clear, guys? Let's create a state variable here. Okay. So I'm creating a variable called as isAvailable. Okay, just to give you idea, guys. Okay, and guys, again, as I told you, state variables are just like normal regular variables. They can hold anything: array, object, boolean, whatever you want, string, number, whatever you want. So set is available. Okay. So guys, my state variable name is available, and the function which I'll use to change that variable's value is called as set is available. Simple logic. Is available, set is available. Name, set name. Age, set age. Okay. Now then, let's give it a value, initial value of, let's say, yes. Okay. So that means, guys, in this component, I have a variable called as is available, whose value is yes. Okay. And here in a p tag, I'm displaying it. So is available. I'm displaying that value. So now for all the three components, you can see we are getting yes. See that everyone? For all the three components, we are getting yes, yes, yes. Okay, because we are creating this whole component 3 times. So the whole thing is getting created 3 times. Okay, so we're getting yes, yes, yes 3 times. Simple idea. Now, guys, it's a very important thing that I want to show you. That's why I'm creating this thing. Okay. Okay, simple. Yes, we follow camel casing. I'm following camel casing, Ramana. I'm following camel casing logic to put my name. So that is what you should follow always. Okay. Exactly, Komalpreet, exactly. So now guys, I am creating a button here. Okay, a button, simple idea. And let's say click. Okay, simple. And I'm going to create a function which will change the value of the state variable again. Okay. So yes, Kaluri, yes, completely fine. You can use completely, you can use. Okay. So guys, let's say function, something like make, something like, not available. So I'm calling my function as make not available. The whole logic of this function is to make our is available from yes to no. Simple. So guys, what we'll do? Set is available to a new value called as no. Okay, that's all guys. So now I have a state variable called as is available whose value is yes. I have displayed it and I'm using this component 3 times. So everywhere I get yes, yes, yes. Simple idea. Then I create a button called as click. Okay, and I have a function whose job is to simply change the state variable's value from yes to no. That's all. Now what I'm going to do is when I click on this button, I'm going to call that function make not available. Okay, simple logic. That means whenever I click on the button, the yes should change to no. And since it's a state variable, the component will also update. Okay, so the UI should also update. So now guys, please focus everyone. Let's go and let's try it. So now I'm going to click here. Click. And guys, can you see that? Only for this component, the yes changed to no, not for the other components. That means guys, you have created this component only once, but since you are using it 3 times, you are getting 3 components and all of them are having their own states. So even though I have created only one state variable for that component, because this component is getting created 3 times, they all are having their own states. That's what I wanted to show you. Is that clear? Because see, here it is still yes, here it is still yes. And if I click here, it will also become no. So all of them, small components are getting their own state. This is what I wanted to show you. Okay. And also guys, now you know that only that component is rendering, not everything else. Okay. Because if everything else renders, everything will change. But only this particular component. So whatever component's state is changing, only that component re-renders, not the other ones. So you saw it right, everyone? So that's the base idea. This is what I wanted to show you because sometimes, people are always confused when they reuse the component. So let's say they have a component in that they have state variable and then they use it 10 times and then they get confused. What's going to happen with my state variable? That's it. That's how simple it is, guys. So guys, are we clear with this logic, everyone? Okay, now you can create any state variable with any value, whatever you want, array, object, literally whatever you want. Okay. So guys, all clear, everyone? And also, can we reach 200 likes? Come on, guys. Let's see if we can reach 200 likes. Okay. So guys, that is what a state variable does. That's all. So guys, you're simply going to be creating state variables whenever you feel you are going to be having a dynamic data that will change. And based on that, you want to change your UI. That's it. At that point of time, go ahead and use a state variable. Simple. Okay. That's what you have to do. And also, please keep practicing it so do you understand when to properly use a state variable. Even I'm going to be using it, but just to tell you, please keep using it. Please keep using it. Okay. Simple idea. Yes, Komalpreet, that's the idea. Use state is not defined. I think then you have not imported it. Aman, sorry. You might have not imported it. Please check if you have imported it. If use state is not undefined, that means you have not imported it. So please go ahead and import use state first. Check if it is imported on top of the file. It's very important. If you don't import it, you can't use it. Okay. So now guys, we can use it for a lot of things, this use state, and we're going to be using it. So first things which I'm going to be teaching you today is how to read an input field in React. Because guys, it's very important. In JavaScript, it's very easy. You simply give an ID and then document.getElement by ID. You simply go for .value and you can read an input field. In React, people are always confused in how to read an input field. And there are multiple ways. Okay, there are multiple ways. But I'm going to be showing you one of the simplest ways of reading a state variable. Okay, so let's go. Sorry, reading an input field, not a state. Sorry, confusion. Okay, so guys, don't worry about this product component anymore. Now let me show you how to read an input field in a simple manner. Okay, so again, I'm going to comment this header and product list. Let's comment this. Okay, so see, nothing, an empty component. And here, let's simply, something like you have an H1 and let's say something like name. Okay, and also guys, one more thing actually, before we move ahead, I also want to tell you one more thing that, see, yesterday I showed you, right? If you want, guys, you can also avoid creating a separate function. If you want, you can also avoid creating a separate function. Okay, right? I showed you that you can also create a function directly in here, an anonymous function like this, and you can perform the state change logic there. That's also fine, right? So guys, initially you created a separate function here in which you did your task and then you called it on the button. Now here I'm directly doing it on click, call this function, correct? And inside that I'm doing this. So you can also use this shortcut. Rather than creating a separate function, you can also do this logic. Is it clear to everyone? So simple idea. So either you create a separate function with a name and then call it, or simply on click create an anonymous function which will directly get called. So on click, this function will be called and this function will simply change the state. Whatever you were doing here, now you're doing here. So you can save, some lines, that's all. And it can be a really compact code, that's all. So wherever you want, you can change it. Okay, is that clear to everyone, guys? I hope we are cleared with this idea. Okay. Everyone, are we getting this idea or not? So initially, okay, first of all, tell me everyone, are you understanding this concept? Let's see. Shubham is asking, in React for changing data dynamically possible, then what is the need of backend like Node.js? See, Shubham, right now, whatever data we are creating, we are hard coding that data. We are hard coding that data, correct, Shubham? That means we are the ones who are hard coding this data. Now, if we have thousands of products, are we going to hard code thousands of data? No, that will be tough. And if that data regularly changes, are we going to come back in code every day and change the data? Right, let's say today I added 1,000 products. So I hard coded thousands of products of data. So in future, let's say I want to add 500 more products. So am I going to change my code? No. That is why we need a database where we can simply store all our data. And an API whose job is to get data from that database to your React application. So that's why you need a backend to manage the data, to store data in database, to connect to database. Is that cleared? And whenever your front end wants data, front end will ask the backend, give me the data. And backend will go in database and extract that data and it will give it back to you. Because you are not going to be hard coding every day, right? Like for example, according to then that logic, if it is Facebook, right? So just think, in Facebook, if someone is creating an account, like I'm going to create an account, that means someone is sitting behind and coding on the spot. Oh, Saurabh is creating an account. Let's have his data directly. No, that doesn't happen. So everything gets stored in database and backend is responsible for getting that data from database to your React frontend because React cannot interact directly with database. Is that clear, Shubham, everyone? Is that clear, Shubham? Sir, what is difference between API and REST API? API simply stands for Application Programming Interface. That means any function which can take an input and give you output, you can call it an API. Any program in this world which can take an input and give you output can be called as an API. REST API simply means that's basically one way of creating an API. An API which simply transfer the state of the data which is available in database directly to you. REST stands for Representational State Transfer. So when you ask for a data, that API is also function, but its job is to simply take data from database and give you the exact stream structure without doing anything in that data. That's what REST API means. You're not formatting that data. You're simply transferring the exact representation that you got from database. That stands for representational state transfer. Okay. Is that cleared? Yes, I'm going to repeat it. Okay. See guys, yesterday when I was teaching you event logic, okay, for anyone who is confused here, see, and Vandana, especially you, please focus here now. Yesterday when I was teaching event logic, what did I tell you guys? That if you want to handle events, one way is you can create a function, let's say function do something. Okay, and let's say in this I'm simply doing console.log hello. Okay, and now I can call this function on click. Simple logic. Vandana, I hope you understand this much. Simple logic. You have a function do something, which is simply job is to console.log hello. And then when you on click, you're calling that do something, which will perform this task and hello will be printed. Let's see. Let's see if it is working. Okay, and also I have not loaded the product component. Let me load that quickly. Okay, simple logic. Let's open the console. So now you'll see when I click on that button, hello is printed. Nice. That means event handling is working. Correct? Event handling is working. The other way is, if you don't want to create a separate function, one way is you can directly create a function here, which is the anonymous function, like this. This function will not have a name. So you can directly create a function like this in here. That means now initially you were calling this do something function, which you created somewhere else. It is a simple JS concept. Now you're not calling that do something. You're directly creating a function here. And now this is the function which will get called. This is the function which will get called. And you can do the exact same task here as well. Console.log hello. And see, the output is still same. See, the only difference is this function was having a name. And the reason you gave it a name so that you can call it somewhere. So because you were creating it somewhere else, to call it you give a name. Here, you're creating the function here only and you want to call it here only. That's why this function doesn't need a name. And these kind of functions are called as anonymous functions. So on click, you're simply calling this function, creating it and calling it at the same place. Okay. And there is one more way of creating functions available in JS, which is you can avoid the function keyword and use the arrow function logic. That's all. That's just one way. That's it. You're doing the exact same thing, but by just using a arrow function logic. That's it. Is it clear, Vandana? I hope it is cleared. Sir, why use props? Props are used to pass data from one component to another component. Or you can say from parent component to child component. For example, you can see I'm passing this data, Levi's jeans price to product component through its parent. Who is parent? Product list. So guys, I'm loading product component in product list. So that's why product list becomes parent. Whoever is loading the component becomes product and whatever becomes parent. And whatever component is getting loaded, it becomes child. Simple idea. So right now I'm loading product component in product list component. So product list becomes parent and product becomes child. And I'm passing this data from product list component into the product component. So props are nothing but a way of passing data into the component from a parent component. That's all. So Vandana, now basically I was doing the state change logic directly in here, rather than doing it separately. That's all. Okay. And it is still working. You can see that. Okay. Cool. Okay. Now then guys, let's get back because I want to show you something now. Is it possible to connect React with MySQL database? I don't think so. No, it's not possible. I don't think so. It's directly possible to connect JavaScript to MySQL. It is possible to connect JS to MySQL, but not the JS running in the browser. You then have to use Node.js. You have to use Node.js for it. You don't have to write browser-based JavaScript. You have to write your normal JavaScript outside the browser. Then yeah, definitely you can connect. So connecting JS to MySQL, possible. Connecting browser-based JavaScript to MySQL, no. You don't connect that. Okay. Now then guys, let's move ahead everyone. And let me quickly go ahead and create an input field. Okay. So let's say in H2 or H3. And let me just pass a label like name. You can see here name. And let me quickly create an input field because guys, now I'm showing you how to read value of an input field. Okay. So input, let's say type text and simple placeholder, let's say enter name, something like that. Okay guys, can you see that input field, everyone? Can you see the input field, guys? Hopefully it's visible. So now what I want to do is I want to read this input field, because guys, in future you're going to be having forms and people will fill it and submit it. So you want to know how to read that input field's value so that you can send it to an API or to a server, right, everyone? So let's go. So guys, for reading input field, the best way possible in React is you can create a state variable for this input field. Okay, that will handle the value coming from this input field. So what you can do is create a state variable. Let's say name. Okay, and then set name. And initially, don't give it any value. So use state, let's say blank, or you can just keep it like this, hopefully. Okay, you can see there's no error. So initially it's nothing. Okay, nothing there. Okay, now what you will do is you will go on this input field and you can pass on change. That means whenever someone changes or does something inside this input field, you are going to be calling this function. Okay, right now guys, I'm not using state, I'm just calling this function. And let's say right now I'm simply doing console.log. So first of all, I want to confirm if it is working. Okay, so guys, let's see. Now what I'm saying is, whenever I change something or whenever I type something inside this input field, I am calling a function. So every time I type something or cut something or do anything inside that input field, whenever the value of input field changes, this function will be called, because the event name is on change. That means whenever something in that input field changes, this function will be called, and right now this function is simply printing hello. So let's confirm if it is working at least. Okay, so console is opened here. Let's go in the input field and pipe A, B. See, anytime I do something, the hello gets printed. See that, guys? See that? And if I remove it, it is still getting printed. So whenever you change data in this input field, hello is getting printed. That means nice. Whenever you change something in the input field, function is getting called. Now what I'm going to do in that function is, I am going to access the event object, which will give me the information about that event. Okay, which will give me the information about that event. So guys, this is the JS concept. Okay, so event. So guys, just to give you idea, if you have never heard of event object, just to give you idea, event object is available in JavaScript. Event object is the object which is available with every event, on click, on change, on drag, on drop, whatever event you're using. That is by default available with every function which that event is calling. That event object simply gives you the information regarding that event and the element in which the event is getting called, or for which the event is getting called. Right now, which is input, because you're calling the on change event in the input tag, right? Let me see, let me show you. So if I go ahead and type A, see, right now the event is synthetic base event, and see, it has so many properties, and you can use any property. I am planning to use the target property, which gives you who was the element on which the event was fired. It is giving me, see, when I hover on that, it tells me it was input tag. So that is what I want to use. So event dot target. Okay, and this will give me the element on which the event is happening right now, which is input. So if I see A, I get that input field. C, I get the whole element. Whenever I do, I get that whole element. So I got the element. And now to extract the value which I am writing inside that element, target has a property called as value, by which I can read whatever is happening. So now see guys, whatever I type, I'm getting that. See that, everyone? So what's happening? As soon as I change something in the input field, the function is called, in which I have the access to event object. Event object gives me the access to the input field, and from input field, I extract the value which I'm writing inside that. Is that clear, everyone? Instead of event, can we simply use A? I think so, you can use A, but not in this case, because in this case, the name should be fixed. Okay, because when you're passing the parameter, the name should be fixed. If you're passing it to some other function, then definitely you can call anything to that parameter. Not in directly anonymous functions. No, here you cannot change the name directly. Here it will be tricky if you change it, because the JavaScript will never understand what A is. Exactly, but if we can try it. We're not sure if in React it works that way. So let's try. Let's try E. Let's see if JS understands E as event. Let's see. If it understands, it will be amazing. Yep, it is understanding that. Yeah. So you can use E as well. Okay. So yeah, because it is an anonymous function, it knows that there will be no other parameters. So I think, yeah, that's why it gets it. It's going to be an event object only. But personally, I always write full name so that I don't get confused. So in this case, I'm going to be writing event. Okay. Simple idea. That's one approach that I follow. Okay. So now guys, you're getting whatever you're writing. And now guys, what's the final step, everyone? You are simply going to store whatever you're getting in the state variable. So set name, whatever you're getting from the input field. That's it. So now guys, what's happening? Whenever you go ahead and do something in the input field, whenever you change something in the input field, I am going to extract the value from that input field and I am going to set it in this name variable. So that means whatever I write, it will go in this name variable. Okay, now let's print it somewhere, guys. Let's print it somewhere. Let's print it here. H3. Let's print the name. Let's go print the name. And now let's see. So guys, see, right now name was nothing. Initially it is nothing. That's why it's not getting printed. But as soon as I type it, see that, everyone? You're getting the value. And now you can use this state variable for anything. You can send it to an API. You can do whatever you want with this. Is that clear, guys? Everyone, I hope you're understanding the logic here. Okay. Sir, is it possible to pass state variable in one component to use it? Yes, yeah, it's possible. It is possible. You can pass state variable to other components as well. Yes, completely possible. From props only you can pass state variables. You can also pass state functions. Not only the variable, you can also pass the function in other component as prop. And it can be called there. It's completely possible. Okay. Is that cleared? Unterminated JSX. I think you might be missing a bracket or something like that, Shashank. You might be missing a bracket or something like that, buddy. Okay. So guys, are we cleared with this? And now that means whatever you type in this input field, it is available in this variable called as name. You can use it for any purpose now. It's up to you now. Okay. And guys, can we come on reach 200 likes, everyone? Come on. Can we reach 200 likes? And guys, please don't get confused with this logic that when I'm typing, how it is coming on top. Simple idea, guys. Simple idea. Everyone, it is buffering again. Is it fine now? Is it fine now, guys? Is it fine now? Please tell me, is it fine now? Is it fine now? Can you please confirm? Is it fine now, guys? Can you please confirm that quickly? Is it all good now? Okay, nice. See, now I know, guys, sometimes you know the things, but when something amazing happens, sometimes we get confused. What's going to happen? Like, see, you know what state is, you know what's going to happen, but sometimes when this happens, you get confused. Oh, how it is working? What's this? How come we are writing an input field and it's coming on top? Guys, think, connect all the dots. Guys, connect all the dots, everyone. What did we learn? Whenever a value of state variable changes, the output changes, the UI re-renders, right, guys? Komal, for you. Okay. So I have displayed the name. Initially, there is no value in name. That's why there was nothing there. Let's put some initial value. Let's say I put as dummy. Okay, just to make sure that you understand. So you can see now, dummy is here available. Okay, dummy is here, correct? Dummy is displayed. So now you have a variable called as name, which is a state variable whose value is dummy, and that's displayed on the output, correct? Now what we have learned about state variable, that whenever the value of state variable changes, the component re-renders, correct? Now just read, what are you doing here? You are saying whenever something changes in the input field, take the value of the input field and set it in name. So you are changing the value of name variable with whatever you are writing in the input field. So whenever I write A in the input field, that is changing the state variable, and now state variable's value is also becoming A. And since state variable is changing, my output is changing. UI is re-rendering, right? Initially, I changed my state variable when I clicked on a button. Now I'm changing it when I am typing something in the input field. So when I type AB, now this AB is getting settled in the name variable. So you're saying, see, set name, whatever is the value of input field, set it to name. So whatever you're typing, that value is getting settled in the name variable. And whenever you change state variable, the output updates. And that's why you see the new output, fresh output. Is that cleared, guys? Now tell me, is it cleared? Understand it like two parts. One is you're writing in something in the input field and you're reading it. At the time of writing, you're extracting it using event.target.value. And whatever value you're getting, you're directly giving it to the state variable. And whenever the value of state variable changes, the output updates. And that's why you can see output updating in front of you. Simple. Sometimes, it is amusing. Oh, so what's happening now? Nothing to worry, guys. Don't ever get confused with the fancy things happening. Just try to understand what's happening inside. You know the concepts. Try to break it down. Okay? Okay? In React, everything is like JS. Why not? React is built using JS. Dharmaraj. Browsers don't understand React. So internally, whatever you do with React is getting converted to JS. Angular, Svelte, Vue, React, they are nothing. They are just created, they are just some libraries created on JS, that's all. Without JS, they are nothing. Without JS, there is no React. Without JS, there is no Angular. So it should be exactly like JS. React is simply created to make your life easier. That's all. That's all. That's it. Okay. Okay, guys. So are we cleared with this? And guys, don't worry about this name. This name is just this label, right? That's all. Guys, also focus on what I'm coding here. Okay, so that is just this name, and this is my variable display. Okay, so that is just random text name, and this is my variable display. Okay. So guys, I hope you got it. Now you can create n number of input fields, and for that you can create n number of state variables. Now there is also a way by which you can handle all the values in a single state variable, but that will come in future. Don't worry. And I think I broke my, no, it's okay. It's fine. Okay, cool. Attendance link, it is in the description. Sabir, you can mark it there. Okay. So guys, hopefully we are cleared with this, everyone. Hopefully we are cleared with this. Don't worry, Sarthak. Tomorrow's complete time is going to be go on use effect. Don't worry. Okay. Okay, guys. So I hope we are completely cleared with basic idea of how to read input fields. And guys, again, let me show you. You can also read multiple input fields. Let's say I have let age and then set age equals use state. And now guys, I want to keep it empty because I don't want to display my variables. Okay, remove it. So guys, now I have two variables, name and age. Okay, both are empty initially. And let's create two input fields as well. So just like this, I'm going to create one more input field for age. So input type, number, placeholder, enter age. And yes, let me remove this. Now I'm not going to display anything. No display, only having two input fields. And guys, whenever I do something in the age field, I will read the value and put it inside age. Set age. And now guys, see what I'm going to be doing here. Focus. I am going to be creating a function, a button actually. Let's call it as submit. Okay. Okay. And when I click on it, so on click, I'm calling a function, comma age. So now guys, I'm not outputting my name and age on my UI. It's guys, again, it's not important that you always put your state variables on the UI. No. It's completely fine. So guys, I have two state variables, name and age. Whenever I do something in the input field of name, the name variable changes. Whenever I do something, again, it's buffering. Okay, I can see now it's happening. Is it fine now, everyone? Is it fine now? Can you please confirm? Is it okay now? I don't know what's happening today. Is it okay now? Is it okay, guys? I think it's okay now because I'm also watching on YouTube. I think now it's fine, hopefully. Guys, is it fine now? Please tell me. Okay, good. So now guys, you have understood the concept, everyone, that now we are not displaying name and age anymore. We are not displaying name and age anymore. Okay. The simple logic is we have two state variables. See guys, focus. Yes, I'm repeating. Don't worry. We have two state variables, name and age. Cool. Whenever I do changes in the name input field, I change the state variable name with whatever value I'm writing. Whenever I make changes in the age input field, whatever I write in that input field, that gets settled to the state age variable. And then I'm simply printing those variables when I click on this button. Okay, doing nothing, guys. Now I'm not re-rendering my UI. That means now I'm not trying to refresh my UI, but guys, internally it will still refresh. Remember, it doesn't matter if you're displaying the variable on UI or not. If your state variable changes, the UI will re-render. It doesn't matter if you're displaying it on UI or not. It doesn't matter. Okay. But anyway, in this case, I don't want to display. So I just want to write name Saurabh. That means in the state variable, Saurabh has settled. In age, I'm going to write 24. And when I click on submit, see guys, you got your name and age. And now you can send this data to an API, to a database, wherever you want. It's up to you. You have collected data, you can use it anywhere. Just like that, guys, you can have 10 input fields and collect all that data together and use it for any purpose. It's up to you. Is that clear, guys? Everyone? That's how simple it is. Okay, this is only one way, guys. There are multiple ways of doing it. This is only one way that I've showed you. So guys, are we cleared with reading input fields, everyone? And I hope now we are getting the idea of what exactly state variable is. Yes, Pradeep. If you guys, again, if you refresh your page from the browser, then everything will go back to normal, because at the end it is JavaScript. So nothing is permanent. Okay. Sir, how to get the value of input field without using event object? For that, you have to use a separate hook called as useRef. Then you have to use the JS logic. I would suggest you to always go for event object. But if you want to avoid event object, then you have to use the logic of JS, document.getElement by ID logic. But that is not possible in React directly. So you have to use a hook called as useRef. But again, even if you don't use the event object, you'll be still extracting the value using dot value, nothing else. Okay, you will still extracting the value using dot value. So guys, this state variable cleared. You can use it for multiple purposes. Okay, you can use it for storing data coming from input field. You can use it to display something on your screen or your output. But please don't forget, please never forget that whenever a value of state variable changes, the component re-renders. No matter if you're displaying it or not, no matter if you're displaying it on the output, that variable, or no matter you can't see any changes on the UI. No, component is re-rendering. If you don't see any changes on the UI, that means you have done something for that particular thing. But component will re-render. Whenever a state variable changes, component will re-render always. Okay. On click, how to bring back the values to UI. On click, how to bring back the values to UI. That's simple. Then you can display it, right? Then you can create some tags and you can put that in your, UI. That's it. That's all. You can just put a conditional rendering here. Okay. So can we declare multiple variables? Yes, you can declare a number of state variables. Here, see, I have two variables. You can declare 10, 20, 30, depending on your use case. Okay. Is that cleared? Sir, is it possible to give a warning if the user types in caps? Yes, you can do that. That's some basic JS validation that you can do. So first of all, you have to check if it is in caps. What you have to do is you have to check if it is matching uppercase, right? So you can write that condition here. So before doing set name, you can display error message. Completely possible. Why not? Okay. Yes, Jyoti Prasad, it's possible to pass state variable to other component. Yes, it is possible. Using props, you can pass it. So in the prop, you can pass the state variable. See, just like in here, you are passing Levi's jeans as a prop value. You can create a state variable and pass that variable in the place of Levi's jeans. So you can pass a state variable. It's completely fine. Okay. Use effect, Akash, we are planning for tomorrow. Use effect, we are planning for tomorrow mostly. Use effect, we are planning for tomorrow. Today, the last thing that I'm going to be showing you is how to loop. Because see here, I'm displaying data multiple times. I'm loading my product component 3 times. So what if it is 100 times? Am I going to write product 100 times? No. No. So how to do that? So that's what I want to show you now. So guys, can we now move ahead then, everyone? And guys, you can do any kind of validation, everyone. It's completely fine. You can do any kind of validation inside this function or somewhere else. Just basic JS validation, whatever you want to do, you can do it here. Okay. Sir, in future, please arrange a bootcamp only on CSS, only on. I'll try my best. I'll try my best, Sashank. Don't worry, buddy. Okay. So now, guys, let's comment this. Guys, I'm not removing anything. So I'm just commenting it here. Okay. Because now, and guys, whatever I am doing in app component, I hope you understand that you can do it in any component. Okay. Z, set name and set age are the functions. Name and age are the variables. Set name and set age are the functions which you use whenever you want to change the value of name and age. That's it. Okay. Okay. So guys, now I'm commenting everything. Okay. Again, a blank screen, because now I want to show you something very, very, very important. Okay. So guys, please focus. Okay. Please, please, please focus. I want your complete focus here. Cool. Let's go. So now guys, see, right now, if you see my product list, I am directly passing hard coded data, right? Name Levi's jeans, name Samsung M51, name Dell monitor. It's hard coded data. But we know in reality, our data will come from an API in terms of an array or object or something like that. Correct, everyone? Our data will in reality come from an API in terms of an array or object or something like that. That's one thing. First of all, you will never receive your data like this. First thing. Second idea is, here I'm loading my component thrice. Or even if I don't load a component, even if I write some code, I'll be writing that code 3 times if I want to create that 3 products. That is again time consuming. Correct. So how to solve all this stuff? So for that, guys, first of all, let's go on app.js and let's try to understand it at basic idea. Just the basic idea. So let's say, guys, please focus everyone, okay? Please focus now. Let's say I am creating a very simple div tag. Okay. Is it fine now, guys? Can you guys listen to me? Can you guys hear me now? Is it all good? And guys, please refresh if it is again happening. Please refresh if it is happening, if it is still happening. Is it fine now? Okay, all good? Okay, nice, nice, nice. Okay, so guys, as I was telling you, I am simply creating a div which is having, country and its capital. Again, guys, you can choose any data, product and its price, user and its username, password, any data. Okay, what I'm trying to do is just display simple data. Okay, you can do anything, product and its price, whatever you want. Okay, animal and its cub name, whatever you want, guys. Okay, so simple data. Okay, and let's apply some CSS to it quickly. So dot data, background color light gray, padding of 20 pixel, width of fit content, and margin of 10 pixel. So very simple CSS to it, guys. I'm applying simple. Okay, you can see now we have this data India and New Delhi. Correct, everyone? See, I'm doing nothing, guys. Right now I just created a very simple box with some data. That's all. Okay, I have not started the actual logic yet, guys. Don't worry, I have not started the actual logic, everyone. Don't worry, just simple box with India and its capital. Okay, you can have anything, product. Okay, don't spam the chat, Kushal. I have not started anything yet. I have not started anything yet, buddy. Simple idea. I've done only a simple logic here. That's all. Okay, a very simple logic. Is it clear, everyone? First of all, are we on the same page now? Let's confirm. Because of this issue, I think some things are getting here and there. Are we on the same page now? Are we on the same page now? First of all, please confirm that, everyone. Are we on the same page now? I have just created a box and a dummy data of country and its capital. That's all. Okay, data. Okay, very normal data, India and New Delhi. Now in future, let's say my web page is simply of displaying multiple countries and its capitals. So if I need one more country, according to our logic, it will go like this, right? One more country, let's say we have Australia, and let's say Canberra, which is the capital of Australia, correct? Okay, so we have one more country. Okay, so I have India's data. So it can be, guys, in future, it can be products, it can be users, it can be whatever data you want. Right now, it's simply country and its capital. Okay, simple idea. Now, what I was trying to say is, guys, in future, this can be any data. And right now, you can see I'm hard coding my data. But this data can actually come from anywhere. This data will most probably come from an API, which will look like this. Is it buffering again? Okay, what's happening today? Something is happening today. I think there's some issue with the internet connection here, maybe. Is it fine now, guys? Is it fine now? Is it fine now? Can you please confirm? Is it fine now? I'm really sorry for this, guys. I'm really sorry for this. I don't know what's happening today. There's some issue with the internet connection at our office, maybe. So we'll solve it. Don't worry. We'll solve it. Okay, good. So guys, please focus. First of all, don't think of anything here. Just please focus on this, what we are doing. As I again and again tell you, believe in the story. Let's go. Okay. So leave out anything else. Just understand this carefully. So what I'm telling you is, right now I'm simply putting up a data of country and its capital. I hope you understand that this can be any data. Product information, product and its price and its image and other stuff. You know, user information, something like you're selling something, so home information, anything. Just trying to represent some data here. I hope you're getting the idea, guys. I'm just trying to represent some dummy data here. Right now it's country and its capital. Okay, so one country, two countries. But now, guys, the problem is, in this case, we are hard coding our data. In reality, the data will mostly come from an API. And when it comes, it will come like an array of objects. So let's create a dummy. Right now, we're not calling an API. Tomorrow we'll do that. So for now, let's create a dummy array of object for some countries. So let countries equals an array. And in that array, I'm going to create some objects where I have country name, India, and let's say capital, let's say New Delhi. Then let's say one more country, South Africa, capital, Cape Town. Then let's say one more country, let's say New Zealand, capital, Wellington. Okay, some countries. Simple. Okay, three countries. Now, guys, we'll receive our data like this. So according to our hard coding approach, we have to do this. See, if I want to display first country's data, my array name is countries. Guys, how do you access first element of the array? How do you access first element of the array, guys? Come on, tell me. How do you access the first element of an array? Tell me that quickly. Guys, if I want to access the first element, that is this object of that array, how do you access it? Guys, what do we use to access first element of the array? We work with indexing, right? Exactly, 0. So country is of 0. And then we'll pass dot name. That's how we'll access the name. And just like that for capital, we can do countries of 0 dot capital. So we can do this, guys. And let's see if our data is visible. And see, it is visible. You're getting India and New Delhi. That means if I want the second country now, I'll go ahead and country of one dot name, country of one dot capital. So now I'll get the second country as well. But this is not correct way because I'm still hard coding. Now, even though my data is coming from an array of object, I am still hard coding. Because what if I have 20,000 countries? Am I going to write this div 20,000 times? No. So what we are going to be doing now, guys, we're going to be performing a looping idea. That's what we do in JavaScript as well. We are going to be doing looping, but in React, you cannot use your normal for loop and stuff to display data directly in your return. I'm not saying you cannot use it. You can use it, but then you have to go with some other way. If you want to perform your normal looping, what you can do is, if you want to perform a basic idea, so what you can do is, guys, see guys, now you are inside JSX. This is JSX area. Inside return, guys, remember inside return you are always under JSX area. And in JSX area, if you want to write JavaScript, you will always go with curly braces. Now inside this curly braces, you can write the looping logic. And guys, here to loop through elements and generate elements in React, the most famous way is using the map function of JavaScript. Again, guys, I'm not against the normal loop. We can still use the normal loop. You can literally use any kind of loop to do this. But then you have to follow different ways for it. But the best, and I think the most used way, is using map function. Okay, I'm not saying the map function is the only option, but this is the most used way. So what you will do now is, guys, first of all, you are now planning to use map function. Map function is a JavaScript function. And if you want to write JavaScript inside your JSX area, you will always write curly braces first. Guys, remember this logic, everyone. If you want to write JSX, it should be in round brackets. If you want to write JavaScript, it should be in curly braces inside JSX. See, this is JS area. You can do whatever you want. But inside JSX area, if you want to write JS, you will always write inside curly braces. And now, here we go. Our array name is countries dot map function. Now we know inside map function, we get a callback function in which we get one country. So this map function, again guys, I'm hoping that everyone here knows JavaScript, but if you don't know, let me tell you, this map function is a looping function which will go to every element one by one. And for the first iteration, or for the first time, it will take this element in this country object. Then second time it will take this one. Then third time it will take this one. And every time, one by one, each object will come in this variable. Okay. The reason we prefer map over other loops in map returns, exactly Aditya, exactly. Now guys, here what you will do is, you will return. This is the ability of map function, guys. This is the reason we use map function. Inside map function, you can perform return. That means map can return something. Normal loops cannot return something. So you have to, concatenate to do things. Map functions can return things. So return, and again, I want to return some JSX. But guys, now remember, you are inside curly braces. So this is JS area. And inside JS area, if you want to write JSX, return, and here you can write JSX now. So basic logic. If you are inside JSX and you want to write JS, use curly braces. If you are inside JavaScript area and you want to write JSX, return something in the rounded brackets. That's the base idea. That is the base idea, guys. Okay. So inside JSX to write JavaScript, use curly braces. Inside JavaScript to write JSX, return something with rounded brackets mainly. Okay. Now guys, here I'm going to write JSX, and now it will be my div. So div, the class of data. Okay. And then here we'll have our h3. Now as I said, guys, this map will run 3 times. That means it will return this div 3 times. That means now I'll only write this div 1 time, but this map function will actually return this div or create this div 3 times. That's what I want. So this div will be created 3 times because of this map. And as I said, guys, this map will go through every element one by one. So first this whole element will come in country. Then this whole element, this whole object will come in country. Then this whole object will come in country. So now to display it, simply country dot name, and for the capital, simply country dot capital. So guys, when the first element comes in country, so that means the first object is available inside country. So country dot name will give me India. Country, रुको चालू हुआ है, शायद चालू हुआ है, हो गया देखता हूँ, रुको. Okay, is it fine now? Again buffering. Is it fine now, guys? Okay, good. Okay, so guys, finally then, don't worry, we are at the last topic, and don't worry guys, we'll solve this internet issue. Don't worry about that. Okay, so guys, you can see now. So now we are generating this particular div, which we were writing 3 times initially. Now we are generating it using the map function. So this map function is looping over this data 3 times, and it's generating this div 3 times, and every time with different data. And now the output is something like this. See guys? So without writing it thrice, now you're generating your element 3 times. Is that clear, guys? Everyone got the idea of what map can do? Guys, so are we cleared with this? Everyone? Are we cleared with this idea now? Please tell me. Are we cleared with this idea now? And guys, now you can do it on any element that you want to loop. So same can be done on products. Same now can be done on products as well. Here we are loading product 3 times. Put this data in an array of objects. Put this data in an array of objects and then apply a loop. Okay. And yes, don't worry. We are getting an issue. I know there's an warning coming up. Yes, yes. So guys, see. Now here, it is not stopping your output, but you're getting a warning here. And the warning is, if you read it, let me show you. The warning is, each child in a list should have a unique key prop. So what React is suggesting us is, if you are performing a map function, that means you are generating a list of elements. And what it's saying is that every child in a list should have a key attribute. That means every element that you're generating inside a map function, it should have a, only to the parent element, guys, key attribute. And guys, key should be unique. Key should be unique. You should not repeat the key. So guys, for that, you know that in map function, you also get access to the index of the element. So pass the index as your key and the issue will be solved. Because guys, you're performing a looping, so React is unable to understand the uniqueness of that element. So that React uniquely understands that element for re-rendering purposes, you have to pass a key. So we don't have ID right now, right? Our data doesn't have ID right now. So we can pass the index, because you know that in map, when you loop, you also get access to the index. So for the first element, the index will be 0. For the second element, the index will be 1. And for the third one, it will be 2. So just pass key as index. That's all. And the error should be gone. And guys, see, the error is gone now. So something unique should be there. And I think index is the most uniquest thing you will get. Okay. So every parent element inside a map function that you're generating, it should have a key. That's the only thing you need. That's all. So guys, are we cleared with this? Now you can do the exact same thing on products list as well. Exact same thing. So now you can put this data, whatever you're hard coding here, in an array of object, and then apply a loop, and then simply get all the data. Can PHP be used in React? You cannot integrate PHP directly in React, but yes, you can create APIs using PHP and then call those APIs from React. That's possible. Yes. Okay. So guys, are we cleared here, everyone? Understood the base idea? Guys? Yes, yes. Now see guys, the best part is, I can add a map doesn't know how many products you have. Map doesn't care about that. You have 3. I'll generate 3 elements. You make it 4 now. It's up to you. You make it 4. So let's say I add one more country. So let's say we add, let's say something like USA. And the capital is, I think, Washington, right? If I'm not wrong. Washington, DC. And see, here we go. That's also added. Simple enough. If it is saying index is not defined, Khushi, then you can see you might have not mentioned index here. First mention index in the map, then only you can use it. And guys, for everyone who doesn't know map, please refer to some JavaScript map first. Okay. And I think there is one course which I have taught in LetsUpgrade channel only. You can refer to that particular JS course. Okay. In product also, you can consider index as a key, because you're looping, you're getting an, if you are doing map, you will get an index, Komalpreet, always. So if you have IDs, you can use IDs. If you don't have IDs, you can use index. and every map will have index. So no issues in that. Yes, guys. See, you cannot integrate C# or Java or PHP directly into React, but it doesn't matter in which language you're creating your API in C#, in Java, in JavaScript, in PHP, in Python. It doesn't matter in which language you're creating your API. React can call any API. Okay. Is that cleared? And see, guys, I was giving you a simple shortcut. See, this is something that I normally follow that helps me. I was telling you that whenever you are inside a JSX area, that means area like this, JSX area, where you are writing divs and all that stuff. Okay. So whenever you are inside a JSX area, guys, the idea is when you want to write some JavaScript or put any JS variable, put curly braces. Simple. Okay. Yes, Aditya, that's correct. It should not be used. But right now I use it because we don't have ID. That's the only reason. Guys, and technically you should always go for ID because that is something unique. But right now we are not calling anything from API, right? So we don't have IDs. That's why I use index as our key. Okay. Yes. Right now we don't have IDs. That's why I gone for index. But in reality, when we actually call API, in that case, we can go for IDs. Yes. Now see, guys, if you are inside JSX area and you want to do something related to JavaScript, use curly braces. Okay. Now, guys, this is not a permanent answer. This is my personal idea that I use. And if you are inside the JS area and you want to write some JSX, use round brackets and then write some JSX here. And again, if you want to write JavaScript, again use curly braces. That's it. That's the whole idea, guys. That's the whole idea. That's what I follow. If you're inside JS area and you want to write JSX, round brackets, return it. If you're inside JSX area and if you want to write JS, curly braces. Simple idea. That's what I follow. Okay. That is what I normally follow. And it makes it a little easier for me to understand where I'm at. Again, guys, it's not a recommended solution. You can build your own way to understand how things happen. That is my own way of understanding things. That is something that I use. Exactly. Now see, guys, in this case, what you can do is you can actually go ahead and give ID to everyone. So let's say ID1, ID2, just to solve this issue. You should normally don't use indexes. You should normally not use indexes. So ID3, I'm giving ID. Right now I didn't have ID, that's why I use indexes. But let's say I've given ID, a unique ID to each and every element. So now, rather than using indexes, you can use country.id. That's also fine. Okay, simple. Is it clear, everyone? And in reality, when you call an API, you will get IDs from API. Don't worry about that. Okay. So guys, are we cleared with this whole logic, everyone? Can you please tell me, are we cleared with this whole logic, guys? Okay. Hopefully we are clear with this whole logic. Okay. Now, should I also do it on products component, everyone? Should I do it on product list component? What say? Should I do it just to show you? Looping logic. Because right now, our product component is still like this. See? So should I do it on this component? The looping logic. Here on top it is working. Should I do it on this? Okay, let's do the final thing for today. Let's do that. Okay. So let's go to product list. First of all, we need to prepare data. Yes, Prakash, we'll be covering that as well. Mostly if we get that much time, we'll be definitely covering that. Tomorrow, I'm planning to cover router topic. Only if we get that much time, I'll definitely cover that. Okay. So now guys, here, first of all, we need to prepare data. So let's prepare data. Let products equals an array in which I'll pass some objects. So ID, let's say 1, name, Levi's jeans, price 2000, and URL. I can copy it from here, guys. It's a very big URL, but I'll just copy it from here. Okay, first object prepared, guys, right? Let's go for the second object now. ID2, name, Samsung M51, price 34,000 URL. Here we go. Okay, one more object needed now. So ID 3, name, and guys, you can have a number of objects. Okay, for this example only, I'm having 3 objects, and this data in future may come from an API. That's also fine. Okay, price. What was that? And why I'm putting price in double quotes here? It's a number. You can completely ignore that. Price 10,000 and URL. Let's take this one. Okay, simple guys. So we have got data now. All good. Now guys, see in here we directly generated this whole element. Now let me ask you this question, guys. Instead of generating this whole div here, can't I create a separate component for this div and then use that component inside the loop? Is that possible or not, guys? Guys, you tell me, everyone. Come on, tell me. That's also possible, right? Rather than writing whole HTML here, I can create a separate component called as country. And there I can write this whole HTML. And then I can use that country component here. Correct? That's also possible, right? Same thing we are doing here. We have a product component. This component creates a product component for us, which is nothing but internally HTML. But see, I'm showing you both ways here. I'm showing you that you can also directly put HTML in your map. You can also directly put HTML in your map, one thing, or you can have a separate component which is returning that HTML. Okay, and you can use that component inside a loop. Let me show you. Now see guys, the base idea was here I was generating 3 product components by loading product component 3 times. Now see, remove that. And now, first of all, you need JavaScript. So this curly braces, and then products dot map. In here, we'll get the single product, just like countries. And now here, return some JSX. And my JSX right now is simply loading the product component. That's it. And passing all the props. So first prop is name, in which I'm passing product dot name. See guys, product, that means first of all the first product, and I'm passing first product's name as a prop. So initially guys I was hard coding. Now I'm passing data from a array. Simple. Price product dot price and URL product dot URL. Simple. Is that clear guys? That's all. So initially you were hard coding name Levi's jeans, price 2000. Now name product dot name. What is product? The object coming in the loop, which is getting generated because you're performing map on this array. So first time this whole first object comes inside the product. So product dot name, product dot price. So now this map will run 3 times because in the array you have 3 products. It will generate the product component 3 times. So now if you see the output, and also guys, don't forget the key. So key can be product dot ID. And now guys, see the same output. Is that clear guys, everyone? Simple idea. See, so now how your component looks very good here as well. So you have created product component only once, okay, and you're using it 3 times through a loop. So if needed guys, you can also directly put this whole code here. But that's the reason we have learned components. If you have a big component like this, don't code it inside a loop because it will make it messier. It will work, but it will make it messier. So I created that component separately and I'm using it 3 times, 4 times. That is why we learned components on the first day, right? So that we can then create them. If we have a big component, we can create it separately and use it n number of times. Reusability. So guys, you can also loop through basic HTML. You can also loop through a component like this. So guys, that's how you work in React. Is it cleared guys? Everyone? Hopefully we are cleared. And can we reach to around 260, 270 likes guys? Come on everyone. Let's go. If you've enjoyed the whole thing and if you're understanding everything, please don't forget to like the video everyone. And also guys, if you want to connect to me, You can go on LinkedIn and search for Saurabh Gupta, Let's Upgrade. That's my name. My name is Saurabh Gupta if you don't know. So you can search for Saurabh Gupta, Let's Upgrade and connect to me there and ask questions regarding React and all that stuff. Okay. So guys, are we cleared with everything that we have learned today about state, about reading input field and about looping through data? Because now tomorrow we'll be talking about how to call APIs. So we'll be learning one more hook. We'll be learning one more hook called as useEffect tomorrow. Today we learned useState hook, which lets us create state variables. Tomorrow we'll talk about useEffect hook, which is very, very important. It's a life cycle hook. So we'll be talking about that. And also I'll be showing you how to call an API and get data from API and use it. Because see, we are still hard coding our data directly by our hand. Tomorrow this data will come from an API and then we'll generate this whole thing. Okay. So guys, all cleared everyone? Is there any confusion, anything that is going on? All set? And yes, I think someone is asking, please create one more product. Why not? Simply just copy this. Now see, right now I don't have a new URL. So I'm going to be using the same URL. Okay, but you can change. See, now you can change the data. You can change it to, something like Samsung monitor, something like that. And change the price to, let's say, 23,000, something like that. Okay. And see, now see guys, I didn't change the URL. That's why it's the same image. I didn't change the URL. That's why it's the same image. But everything else is fine. Okay. All settled guys, everyone. All set. Hopefully there is no confusion. Okay. So guys, all good, everyone. All good to go. Assignment is the exact same thing, guys. Convert your hard-coded data. So guys, your assignment update is convert your hard-coded data into an array of object and then loop through it. This is what your assignment is. Yes, Pawan, it's simply just go on LinkedIn and search for Saurabh Gupta, Let's Upgrade. That's all. Just search for Saurabh Gupta, Let's Upgrade. That's it. You'll find me easily. So Pawan, you can easily find me on LinkedIn by just searching Saurabh Gupta, Let's Upgrade. That's all. Okay. Assignment is same, Shashank. Assignment is to do the exact same thing. So you guys have also created yesterday assignment, right? Where you have mentioned multiple products, correct? Using product component. Just loop it. Just remove the hard-coded data, put it in an array of objects and loop it and display it like this. Exact same thing. Yes, Aditya. Yeah, but it is an experiment, right? So that is one reason that we are still not using it so widely. But yeah, we can definitely use it. Yes. I know that. Yes, Aditya. But yeah, thank you so much for the information, buddy. Thank you so much. And you're doing a good job. So yeah. So guys, all set, all cleared. And guys, don't worry about the certificates. You'll get your certificates at the end of all the 5 days. And please, guys, please practice. Because if you don't practice, when we create the project, a lot of things might go over your head. I'll try my best. But the only thing that by which you can avoid that situation where everything goes over your head is by practicing. So at least create this much data with array of objects and loop it like this. At least create this much to understand everything. Okay. And tomorrow we'll talk about a new hook. We'll see how to call API and how to get this data and then generate things like this. Okay. And guys, please, an attendance link is also in the description. Please don't forget to mark your attendance. Otherwise you won't get the certificate. So guys, please mark your attendance as well. As much as I used, it's pretty stable. Okay, then definitely. But see, for now, we'll introduce useEffect, Aditya, because, a lot of companies and everyone asks that question, right? So first of all, everyone should know useEffect. Now, see, the reason we can use that hook, experimental hook directly is because we have already used useEffect. But a lot of people here might be new. So they don't even know useEffect for the first thing. So if I directly go with the new hook, then they will get confused, right? So that's the thing. That's why they should know what exactly is useEffect first, and then we can talk about the replacement of it, right? For us, it's easier because we have worked with useEffect and things before that. Okay, but yeah, definitely we'll try to use it. It's a good suggestion, Aditya. It's a good suggestion. If we do everything on time and if it's understandable, then definitely we'll go for it. Okay, why not? So guys, that's it then. That's it for today. Hopefully everything is cleared. Okay, so that's all, guys. It's used. Yes. I have used it quite a few times. Maybe 1 or 2 times in the recent, some of my trainings here and there. Yeah. Okay. So, yep, guys, that's it. That's all. Thank you so much, everyone. I hope you have understood everything. Please don't forget to like the stream. Okay. And thank you so much, everyone. I'll see all of you tomorrow when we talk about a new hook. And we'll also use the smaller hook, which is Aditya is suggesting. And that's it. And guys, so sorry for all the buffers today. Hopefully it won't happen tomorrow. It was some kind of internet issue today. So sorry for that. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, Aditya, for all the suggestions, buddy, and being in the stream and helping everyone. Thank you so much for that. And that's it, guys. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye-bye, guys. Good night. I'll see you all tomorrow exactly at 6:30. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye. Good night. Good night, guys. Good night.